All right, so today's class is going to be, we all got one. Okay, good. Today's class is going to be on how to do open houses, which is right in time for your first open house, Veneris. So that's good news. Who here has done an open house before? Just two of us. Okay, we're all brand new here. So after this class, I'm going to post this video in school, which has a bunch of different courses in here for you guys to go through anytime you want. But you see it's kind of goofy looking, but hosting powerful open houses. So we'll have a video in here from today, as well as a bunch of content on exactly what to do. And then you've also got this in front of you, which is what we call a standard operating procedure, or just a fancy phrase for a checklist. It's a checklist, right? We want to make sure we're checking a list so we know we did our open house to perfection. An open house is a great way to get people to come to you. We always talk about, how we hate cold calling people, how we hate picking up the phone and talking to for sale by owners. This is one of the ways where you get people to come to you, but you've got to do it right. So the first part of doing an open house, well, I also want to say an open house gives you something to sell and a place to sell it. As a realtor, you need something to sell. As an entrepreneur, you need something to sell and a place to sell it. An open house gives you that. It gives you leverage. So the very first thing you want to do when you're setting up your open house is, number one, you want to choose the right open house. You want to choose the right house to hold open. So on the board over there, everything in green is an active listing. So everything over there is an opportunity for you to do an open house. You can always do my listings. You can always do my flip properties. If it's somebody else's listing, you need to ask them for permission, obviously, and make sure that you know everything there is to know about the house. So what do I mean when I say picking the right open house? Anybody have an idea? Location is number one. Yep. What else? Price point, sure. Price point, depending on what your goals are, right? If you're trying to be a luxury agent, you need to be doing $1 million open houses. What else? Location, price point, type, yeah, sure. Type, right? It's got to be in tune with what you're trying to niche. Price point, location, type. Looking for one more thing. Looking for one more thing. It was the band. I'm picking an open house. We're looking at how to pick the right open house. We said location, probably one of the most important things. Price point, type, how long it's been on the market. I want you guys to always try first to pick a new listing in a great location. A new listing in a great location. Everything else, it's kind of like, all right, if you wanted to be $1 million luxury agent, then you need to be doing $1 million open houses. But does it really, really matter? I mean, it just depends on what you're trying to brand. The type, the same thing. We're just talking about niching, right? But these two, picking a new one in the right location. Now, when we say in the right location, what does that mean specifically? The middle of nowhere. Yep. Yep. 500 signs. To elaborate on that, you really want to be right off of a main street. You want to be looking at right off of a main street. Like if you were doing something out there in Harmony's kind of out in the middle of nowhere in some sense. But if it's right off of 192, that's probably a good open house to do, because you could blow up 192 with open house signs and flags and balloons, and then everybody. I mean, I think it's I forget how many people it was. I saw it the other day. It was like 80,000 people a day or 60,000 people a day drive down 192 in St. Cloud. So those are all the potential people. I mean, less drive that way, but so you get my point. You want to see what is a main road, and you want to make sure it's a new open house. Okay? All right. So we talked about how to pick the right open house. That's a big portion of having a successful open house, right? You don't want to pick a house that's in the middle of nowhere, not off a main road. It's going to take 500 open house signs, and it's been on the market for a long time, and everybody and their mother's already done an open house there, right? If it's a last option, it's better than doing nothing. But if you have options, which we certainly do, pick a new one in a good location. Now, one of the things I want you guys to do in your prep work for the open house is plan out where you're going to put the signs. So what I like to do is I like to print out a map. And let's just say my map, here's the house, here's the main road. So let's just, I know this is a terrible illustration, but let's just say that's my map, okay? The star is the house. This is a main road, we'll say. I want to put all my signs right here. I want to put all my signs right here. I want to put all my signs right here. I want to put all my signs right here, right here, right here. So you get it. We're at the intersection or the corner of every road that leads to the house. And you got to plan for, like, I would say at least 4 to 6 every intersection. 4 to 6 open house signs every intersection. So if you plan that out, you make sure you get the open house signs. We have a system where if you guys, everybody look right over there, you see the orange lockers. That's where we house our open house signs. About, I want to say 6 or 7 in from the very left right there. So you come in, you say, hey, I need 20 open house signs. You grab the orange key right there, and you head over to the lockers, you pick them up, and then you make sure you return them on Sunday or Monday when you're done. Okay. Door knocking. Who here has gone door knocking? Two of us. How'd it go?
For me, I've done it twice. It hasn't panned out.
Yeah.
Not yet.
How many knocks?
Well, so I did one neighborhood that was a rental neighborhood, and then I did one that was attached to one.
Okay.
And that one was better. That one I actually did talk to two people.
Okay.
But I talked to them about it. So it's very soft.
That's what I'm going to talk to you guys about right now. So door knocking for the open house. And what about you? How did yours go? Yeah. Yeah. Do you usually door knock for your open houses? Yeah.
It's easier that way because you're just like, hey man, can I see your house?
Yeah. That's not the way to do it. Right. Absolutely. No, you want to be very low pressure. You're just inviting people to your party. That's it. Hey, I'm the listing agent for the house down the street. We're going to be having a party this Saturday. I'd love for you to come by. We're going to have free food, free drinks. We're going to be giving a free bottle of wine away, or Starbucks gift card for you youngins, whatever. And then get a lender to come in. That way you don't have to pay for anything. Get a lender or a title company or a roofer or a vendor of any sorts. Have them come in and sponsor the open house so you don't have to pay for anything. Does that make sense? Now, when you're door knocking, it's as simple as giving them a flyer, inviting them to your party, your open house party, and then asking them if they've got any questions about the real estate market. So, let me print out, Cleo, can you print out a script for door knocking for the open house? Can you find one and print it out? I'll give you guys that. I want you guys to know I built my entire career off open houses. So I'm not preaching something that I haven't done myself. When I first started, I was your age, your guys' age, 19, 20 years old. And I didn't know what to do. I was kind of in an office where we didn't have a lot of training, a lot of mentorship. So I was just kind of studying the different successful real estate agents that were around. And they were all doing open houses, at least 1 or 2 a month. So I'm like, okay, I was 19, 20, so I was still going to college. I was partying a lot. I was going to the clubs. And I don't really want to work, but I'll do the open houses. And without failure, every Saturday, every Sunday morning, afternoon, I did the open houses. Every Saturday, every Sunday without failure for 6 months. And I built a humongous pipeline, like 150 people that were looking to buy or sell sometime in the near future. And it took me 6 months before any of those panned out. So that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to build up a pipeline, and this is one way to do it. One way out of many ways to do it. So the best strategy is the one you use. So I love open houses. I recommend them. They work for me. They still work for me. I did an open house last weekend, had 10 people come through. Out of those 10, I had a potential seller who I'm still working with, and then probably 3 or 4 serious buyers. Right? Some of them were just kicking rocks. You know, they were just nosy neighbors and stuff like that. But your open houses should be generating you at least 3 to 5 solid leads every time. If you do it how I show you, you pick a new one in a good location, you get 20 to 25 signs, you plan out where you're going to put them, you door knock all the neighbors, you make it a party, you make it a mega event, you will generate a pipeline at the very least. Another important thing I want to mention, when putting out the signs, it's important that you present them in a neat and organized way. Because the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And presentation is everything. So these signs, you got to when you put a sign in the ground, you should take a step back and you should look at them and go, you know, okay, is it level? You know, if I'm driving by the street, can I see it? Or is it facing this way where I can't see it? It's going to get missed. You need to take the extra time. So that's why we need to get there at least an hour or 2 hours early probably, and bring a spare change of clothes, because if you're putting out signs, you're probably going to get sweaty. Bring a spare change of clothes, some deodorant, gels, perfume, whatever. And when you're out there with the signs, don't just throw it in there and move on. Put it in the ground, make sure it's level, put the pinwheel on it or the balloon, because that's important too, is making sure every single sign has a pinwheel or a balloon or something that draws attention to it. Okay. Now, this is the part I wanted to get into. So I was just kind of prefacing everything. We're going to do some role play today. We're going to do some role play. Who wants to be my buyer? I'm looking at you because you've been there, done it. Yeah? You kind of know what they say, what to hear. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to simulate an open house. Obviously, we're going to do it quickly, but you'll get the gist, okay? One more important thing. If it's not in there, everybody look through your packet real quick. Does it talk about using the Lofty Open House app? Does it talk about that in there? Lofty Open House app? It's important that you guys, if it's not in there, write it down. Anybody need a pen? Pen? Anybody? Anybody got one? Pen? Go. Pens? Okay. Pen? Oh, you already know. Lofty Open House app. So everybody make sure you sign up for Lofty. It's $15 a month. We get a super discounted rate for you guys. It's usually like $250 a month. Lofty Open House app. That way, if you've got an iPad or a laptop, people can sign directly into your CRM. Instead, before I had a fancy CRM, I had a piece of paper like this, and it had lines going all the way through it, and it said name, number, email address, are you working with a realtor, what brought you in today, do you wish to be contacted, like it said a bunch of stuff on there. And I had to take that, and I had to first of all, I had to decipher what these people wrote, because they never write. It's always chicken scratch. So use the Lofty Open House app. It won't allow them to hit submit unless the information is accurate, which is great. You'll never have to guess someone's email ever again or their phone number because you can't read it. So use the Lofty Open House app. You ready? We're just going to say your helmet is the iPad that you have set up. All right? Okay, we're going to treat it. That's the front door. We're going to do this thing like it's real. All right. So Thomas is going to be my buyer. So you want to be on the lookout, right? You want to be vigilant. Now you want to have like music playing. You want the atmosphere to be light. And then you want to be on the lookout for people coming in too, so that way you're ready. Now the first thing that I'm going to do when I see Thomas is I'm going to smile.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, how's it going?
Nice to meet you.
Notice like I'm not, hey, how's it going? Hi, how's it going? I'm loud, I'm happy, I'm pleasant to be around. Hi, how's it going?
Good, and yourself?
I'm fantastic, doing blessed. My name is Ian. Welcome to my open house. If I could just get you to sign in real quick, and then I'll take you on a tour. So did everybody catch that? Very simple. Hi, how you doing? I'm fantastic. I'm good. Not, I'm alive. That stuff is not what people want to hear. They want to work with happy people. They want to work with people who are blessed. So I like to say, you don't have to say, you say whatever you want. I say, I'm fantastic, I'm blessed. And I say it smiling and happy. And I say, my name is Ian. Welcome to my open house. If you'll sign in real quick, I'll take you on a tour. Now he's going to walk over to the sign-on sheet, and he's signing in. This is usually going to take like 2 minutes. Not 10 minutes, like two or three minutes, right? And so while he's signing in, there's this period of time where it's a little awkward. So pretend like you're signing in. So there's this period of time where we're kind of sitting here, we'll, like, oh, what do I say? Or I'm glad somebody's here. Like, yes, let's do this. I'm a little nervous maybe. I love to say, so what brought you in today? This is a great open-ended question that gets them to talk. So
I've seen all the signs outside. So I was just driving by and seen them.
You saw all the signs?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, we did our job. We did our job. Thank you. Thank you. So are you in the market for a house?
Yeah, I've been looking. I'm an investor actually, and this is a great property.
Investor. Oh, okay. Awesome. Me too. What do you usually invest in?
Whatever makes me money, it's just gotta look right. Good deal.
Okay. Well, come on this way. Thank you for signing in. Would you like a snack or a drink? I'm kind of like all over the place here. Would you like a snack or a drink?
Yeah.
Great. All right. Awesome. Hey, here's an info sheet with everything there is to know about the property. Okay, so write that down too. Lofty Open House app, number 1. MLS sheets with all the information and your business card stapled to it. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. Here's an information sheet. It's got everything you need to know about the property. So I know you said you invest in anything that make you money. For me as an investor, I have what I call a buy box.
Okay.
So specific investments that especially I look out for. Do you have a specific buy box that you're?
Yeah, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, something easy to rent.
3-2.
Say about 2,000 square footage around average.
Okay.
I'm about half-acre land.
That's great. We have the same buy box. That's awesome. Yeah, no, I like to invest in average homes because they're predictable.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't like to go too far above or too far below because then it starts getting a little tricky. We're kind of niching, So I like to stay right there with predictability with those average type of houses. Tell me, what kind of rehab do you like to do? Do you usually do full rehab, light rehab?
I stick to light. I'll do all the light rehab myself, and then if it comes to full, I'll bring someone in to do it. So
Thomas is an investor right now. You're not going to see a lot of investors come into open houses, to be honest with you. But it's okay. I put him on the spot. All I'm doing is making a connection with him. Have I mentioned anything about this house yet? No. I'm trying to build rapport. I don't want to make it about this house that I'm showing him. And just imagine that I'm walking him through the house. And obviously, I'm not doing that because if I was over there, you guys wouldn't hear me. But I'm trying to build rapport with him. So I said, I'm an investor too. Oh, you're looking at an average? I look at average, which is coincidentally actually true. But he might say, I've got a Frenchie. I go, I got a Frenchie. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm asking him questions about what he's looking for. Whether he's an investor, whether he's just a regular buyer, whether, anything, right? Whether he's looking for somebody else or looking for himself. So I'm asking him questions about what is he looking for. I'm discovering the wants and needs, his wants and needs. Okay, great. What price range are you looking in? Follow me this way. 300, 350? Okay, all right, so just imagine we're walking the house. 300, 350? Great, and are you going to be cash, hard money? Are you going to be financing conventional? Cash, oh, nice, awesome. Good for you, good for you. Now the next part of this is me mentioning some features of this house. Right, so the first part is me discovering his wants and needs, building some rapport. He's here at this open house, so it'd be weird for me not to talk about the house at all. So great, okay. Well, coincidentally, and we're just going to pretend that we're in an average house. This is a 3-bedroom. It's 1,600 square feet, a little shy of 2,000 that you were looking for, but it's at a great price. It's got a brand new roof. What do you think about this house?
I I stopped by and came in, man. It looks great.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Now, what I want to do from here is after I've uncovered his wants and needs, and I didn't write this here, but you talk a little bit about the house, that's obvious. You've got the MLS sheet for yourself and for him. So he's holding on to this MLS sheet. You should also have an MLS sheet that you're walking around with that has all the facts and details about the house. And that MLS sheet will not talk about the 4 major components. So that is something you need to find out from the listing agent or the seller. Does anybody know what I mean when I say the 4 major components? Roof.
Electric and plumbing.
Everybody write this down. 4 major components. Roof.
AC, electric, plumbing.
AC. Electric. And plumbing. All the MLS sheet is going to say is how many beds, how many baths, how many square feet, what's the price, how many days on the market. It's going to talk about the taxes. It's going to have information about the HOA, but it typically will not have any information about how old the roof is, how old the plumbing is, how old the electrical is, how old the water heater is, how old the AC is. So that is information that people will ask you when they're walking through the house, especially an investor. Yes. Okay, so we've got to do some discovery. Yeah, we got to. After this, we'll have to talk. Roof is brand new. AC is 11 years old, and then the electrical and plumbing is original. Okay, so where are we? Now, I want you to pretend that I've taken my time to talk with him, to connect with him, ask him where he's from, ask him what he does. Ask him if he knows the area. Talk about the area. It's your job to be a market expert, right? Does everybody remember what I always say? In real estate, number 1, you are a market expert. Number 2, lead generator. Every day. You do those 2 things every day, you will be successful. So, I want you to pretend that I've taken some time to, I call it schmoozing. Everybody know what schmoozing means? Schmoozing? Yeah? Schmoozing? You know. Okay. You get it. Not too much. Not too much. Just a little, you know. I want you to pretend that I've taken the time to do that. Now, we're at the end of me walking him through the house and building a connection with him and asking him questions and discovering his wants and needs. We're at the end. This is the most important part. This is where you grab your salesman hat. We got to put the salesman hat on. Okay? So, all right, Thomas, I've got a great feel for what you're looking for. You tell me you're looking for a 3-bedroom. This is the part where you're going to show off a little bit. You're going to show off your memory. Everything you can remember about what he said to you. You told me you're looking for an average home, something 3 bedrooms or more, 2 bathrooms or more, around 2,000 square feet. You like St. Cloud. You said you'd be open to Kissimmee. You like to do, did you say light rehab? Light rehab. And you're going to be, purchasing cash. You told me you like this property, but it'd have to be for a great deal. Why don't we do this? So this is the part where we're going to set expectations. Everybody's going to be different. A little bit, not everybody. Most people will be your traditional buyer. You might get a nosy neighbor, you might get an investor, and you might get someone who actually wants to sell their home in order to buy. And very rarely do you get somebody who actually wants to buy this house that you're showing. It's happened to me twice my entire career. And I've done hundreds, probably close to thousands of open houses. And only twice has anybody ever actually come to my open house and bought the open house from me. Okay? So don't expect that. Your goal here is to make a connection with everybody who walks through that door, to build a relationship with them, to build rapport with them, to get them to see you as the local real estate agent, the local real estate expert. Okay? And then ultimately, what I want to tell them, so whether Thomas is an investor or somebody else, I would usually say, well, Thomas, I want you to know, this house isn't mine. I don't own this house. So I want to hear your honest opinion. And you can just tell me whatever it is you think. If you're interested, if you're not interested, I want you to know that I'm not bound to this house. I can show you any house. I can help you get a deal on any house on or off market. So what do you think?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
What do you think of this house?
This house is great. I mean, it's definitely in my price range. Is the owner flexible on price?
I always like to say everything in real estate is negotiable. So it's been sitting on the market for some time. At the end of the day, it doesn't hurt to try.
Of course.
So what I could do is I could help you prepare an offer if you're interested. This would be an extremely rare circumstance that we're talking here. Typically, you'd be working with someone who's not interested in this home but wants to buy. So I would say something like, well, Thomas, I know you said you're not interested in this home. I want you to know that I can help you get a good deal on any home, whether that's on the market or off the market. What do you think of this home? He's going to tell me, oh, you know, this house is good. You know, it's just a little overpriced or whatever. So, okay, that's fine. Hey, I totally understand. Thank you for that feedback. Here's what I want to do. You told me you were looking for blah, 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 blah. I want to set you up on an automatic email list. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plug your criteria into our system. And anytime a house pops up that matches what you told me you were looking for, you're going to get an email with it instantly. How does that sound? Awesome. Great. So I'm going to set you up on that automatic email list. What I want to do is after I send that to you, I'm going to look through that list and try to find a few that I think will be perfect for you. Is it okay if I give you a call back tonight if I find something that catches my eye that I think would be a really good fit for you?
Yeah, that'd be fine. If I don't answer, just go back tomorrow.
Does everybody see what happened there? That was a soft close, right? I'm not closing. I'm not saying buy a house. But I have my salesman hat on. I'm getting him to say yes, right? We've all kind of know that tactic, right? We're getting him to say yes. So he said, yes, it's okay for me to send him an automatic email. Of course, that's okay, right? Now I say, is it okay if I call you? If I find something in that list? He says, yes. So great. Hey, if we find something in that list that I think is a good fit for you and that you really like, can we assume at some point in the next week that you're going to want to go see those houses?
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I'm available most days after 2. If we find something you like, only if we find something you like, what day would work best for you this week to go see those houses?
I'd say Tuesday or Thursday.
Tuesdays or Thursdays? Okay. Let me check my calendar. Yes. Tuesdays or Thursdays work for me too. Let's just tentatively say Thursday.
Perfect.
Does that sound good? Gives us enough time to kind of see what pops up on the market. Fantastic. Thomas, do you have any questions for me?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. Thank you for everything. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Meeting you too.
I'm going to give you a call this evening, man. I'm looking forward to working with you.
Perfect. Looking hearing from you.
All right, get the heck out. So let's do this because I know it's a lot. Let's write down the closes. Everybody write down the 3 closes. Grab the pen, grab a piece of paper. The very end of this open house, and here's the thing, right? Is like you guys who it's your first one, like you're not going to feel comfortable doing this. You're going to be nervous. You're going to fumble your words a little bit. Your armpits are going to be sweating. You know, you're going to mess it up. You're going to fail. You're going to say the wrong thing. People are going to walk out and you're never going to see them again. And that's okay. But you have to put the reps in. You have to put the reps in. So, you were doing Muay Thai. We had that conversation yesterday. The first time you did Muay Thai, you sucked at it, right? First time you played football, you sucked at it, right? Well, natural athlete probably, but either way, you've got to develop that skill. So the 3 closes are, number 1, can I set you up on an email with everything that matches your criteria? I see some contracts here, if you don't mind. Everybody got the first one? Can I set you up on an email with houses that match the criteria you told me you're looking for? Something along those lines. They're going to say yes. That's a no-brainer. Number 2 was, can I call you if I see something that stands out this evening? This evening. Not tomorrow, not next week. Tonight, today, right after this open house. And then number 3, assuming I find something that stands out, and something that you're really interested in, or just say, if we see something that stands out and something that you're interested in, can we assume you're going to want to go see those houses at some point this week, this coming week?
Yeah.
In short, we're asking, will you want to go see those houses at some point in the next week?
Ian, at what point would you want them to get pre-qual?
We'll talk about that in a second. All right, any confusion? 3 closes. Can I send you an email? Can I call you? Can I show you houses? Can I send you an email? Can I call you? Can I show you houses? Sorry, band people. Okay. Can I call you? Sorry. Can I email you? Can I call you? Can I show you houses? Okay. James had a great question. At what point do we figure out if these people are pre-approved? I would say that first time you see them, you want this to be as low pressure as you possibly can. This is all about building a connection, a relationship, a friendship with somebody. So I like to do it on the call. So let's say that they say yes to everything. At the very end of your open house, I know we say open houses are 1 to 4, but really they're like 10 to 5, 10 to 6. It's an all-day thing. Because in the morning, you're putting out signs. In the afternoon, you're cleaning up the house. You're making all your follow-ups. You're plugging everybody into the MLS, and you're making your calls before you leave the open house. Who here has done an open house that did that? You stayed late to email everybody and make all the calls at the open house? Okay. I want you guys to make that adjustment. I want you to make that adjustment. Because waiting 24 hours, 48 hours, or I know you're thinking that this is insane, this is crazy, but the truth is a lot of people will have the open house and they will never even call back the people that came. Real estate agents are so lazy. Not you guys. You guys work hard, you're consistent, and you follow up and you follow through. But a majority of real estate agents are so lazy. So lazy. So, let's say we get on that call at the end of the open house. Thomas, it's Ian. How you doing, man?
Good, good. And you?
Did I catch you at a good time?
Yeah.
Notice I'm not, hey man, how's it going? I'm a little, I like to think of it as like theater. I didn't do theater, but I like to think of it as acting a little bit, right? We need to be this person that vibrates at a high frequency, okay? So, Thomas, how's it going, man?
It's going great.
Did I catch you at a good time?
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, I promised you earlier today that I would call you after I sent that email, and if I found anything that stands out to me that I think matches what you were looking for. I've got good news. I found 3. I found 3 properties that I think would be perfect for you. Do you have a few minutes so I can show you the properties online?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Do you have a computer around you?
Yeah.
If not, what I can do is I can put you on speaker and I can text you over the Zillow links.
Okay.
What would you prefer?
Send me the links over.
Okay, I got them right here already saved in my notes, or I've got them already pulled up in my web browser. Make sure you do that. Bing, 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 bing. What do you think?
123 Main Street looks really nice. Maybe we can go check it out one of these days.
Awesome. I know we said Thursday after 2. How does 3 o'clock on Thursday sound with you?
Perfect.
Okay, awesome. And what about this other one?
That one's I don't like it too much, but the other one's iffy, and I would go for that one.
Okay, and then what about this other one?
That one's good.
Oh, cool. Okay, I'm going to try to set up both of those for you on Thursday, starting at 3 o'clock. Hey, I want you to comb through this email and make sure that there's not any other properties that you want me to set up for Thursday. Okay, and then, yep, awesome. Thomas, man, I just want to say it was a pleasure meeting you today, and I'm really looking forward to working with you. I got one more question for you. Thomas said he was a cash buyer, okay? But we're going to assume, we're just going to take 10 steps back, and we're just going to say Thomas is not a cash buyer, okay? Thomas is a regular buyer. Thomas, have you taken the time to figure out how much purchasing power you have?
No, not yet. I haven't spoken with a lender yet.
Okay. I have a plethora of lenders that I can connect you with. What I'm going to do for you is I'm going to group chat you with Lewis from Samaritan Lending. And Lewis is going to set up a time with you to give you a call to get you pre-approved. It'll only take about 15 minutes over the phone. You may need to submit some documents, but it's absolutely the first step in this process. So I'm going to connect you with him through group chat, and you guys are going to set up a time. Do you have a time that I could tell him that typically works best for you?
Morning time, 9, 10.
Morning? Okay, I'll make sure I include that in the group chat. Thomas, I'm looking forward, man, to helping you find your next investment.
Me as well.
And I'm looking forward to meeting you on Thursday.
Good to see you then. See you then.
Hang up on him. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So typically I do the pre-approval on the phone call. And no, I don't do the pre-approval. I am a big advocator for like taking these people by the hand and going, come on, let's go. Or putting your hand behind their back. Imagine yourself, you're guiding them every step of the way. You're pushing them where they need to go. Don't leave it up to them. Don't just send them the lender's contact. They will never call. 10% might call, right? You need to either say, hey, what I can do right now is I can three-way the lender. I've already talked to him earlier today. He's ready. It would only take 15 minutes over the phone right now. Would you like to do it right now? You could do that and do a three-way call with the lender. Or what I typically do, to be honest with you guys, I would tell you that you will probably be more successful doing a three-way call. What I typically do now, just because I see so many potential buyers I need to get pre-approved, I group chat them with the lender. I will include Thomas and Lewis, and I'll say, hey, Thomas, hey, Lewis. Lewis, this is Thomas Rinaldi. I met him at an open house today. He's an investor. He wants to get pre-approved for a home in St. Cloud. Can you set up a time to jump on the phone with him for 15 minutes to get that accomplished? He said he prefers mornings. And Lewis already knows. Lewis is ready. Lewis is going to jump in that group chat. He's going to say, hey, Ian. Hey, Thomas. Thanks for the introduction. Thomas, I'm available tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Does that work for you? And then Thomas may or may not respond, and then Lewis will call him until he dies or until he blocks him. So that's one way to do it. Now, I want to make sure that you guys know the most important things when wrapping up the open house. After you do the open house, making sure you send out the MLS auto email, right? You're going to probably get, if you're doing it right, you probably get 5 to 10 people to come to your open house every weekend. So you want to make sure every single one of those people sign directly into Lofty's open house app. From there, Lofty will do what's called a drip campaign. Does everybody know what a drip campaign is? We're all set up for that, right? Open house, every time somebody signs into an open house. A drip campaign will be triggered. They'll get a welcome email. They'll get an email with a property search. They'll go in. If they go in there, the system will track them and find out, like, it'll send them auto emails. It'll send them auto text. You don't have to do anything. Not that you shouldn't. You need to be calling these people every day for 10 days. And I'll talk about that in a second. But make sure they sign directly into Lofty's open house app. That way they have an automatic drip campaign. Number 2, make sure every single person who came to your open house is plugged in to the MLS's automatic email. Everybody knows what that is and how to do it? MLS auto email? Somebody, you might not be on MLS, but okay, real quick, I'll show you. So when in the matrix, we hit search. We just hover over it. Residential. Quick. We got it so far? Yes? Yes, we need to get the MLS. We'll talk about that later. Active listings, making sure active listings is checked. Okay, Thomas said he was looking in St. Cloud. Thomas said he was looking in Kissimmee. Thomas said he wanted 3 to 4 bedroom. Whoa, 30? 3 to 4 bedrooms. He said he wanted 2 plus bathrooms. He said he wanted at least 1,700 square feet, so 1,700 plus. He said they needed to have a pool. He said they needed to be single-family residents. Right? These are all the questions we found out in the discovery phase. Okay, we've got 34 matches. All right, so we plugged in all his criteria. We've got 34 matches. Results. Bam, we've got all these. I'm going to just make them one page here. We've got all the results on one page. We check all of them. And down here, you guys see this is save. Save. New auto email. And then we create the contact. So create a new contact, plug in his email, his phone number, his name. We put houses matching your criteria. We scroll down, and you can edit this if you want. You know, this is the message that comes with it. I just leave it how it is. It's got my information here. Scroll down here. I don't change any of this. Just leave it exactly how it is. I hit save. Every single day, they will get an email from you with houses that match their criteria.
You know how to stop it or how to adjust it? Like,
Oh, how to make edits to it? Yeah. Yeah. That's simple. You just go My Matrix. Auto emails. And here's all the ones that are going out, and you just click it. You can edit criteria right there, and then you hit save, and then it does it. So, have them sign into Lofty. Have them on an automatic email, and then call them the same day. And then you need to call them and text them and leave them a voicemail every single day for 10 days until they block you, or God forbid they pass away. Okay? Every single day. Let me tell you a story real quick. Veneris, you were here yesterday for it. I got a referral. Some guy potentially wants to sell his house. Okay. So I get on the phone with him. It was a good conversation. Gives me the address. I look it up. It's a $5 million house in Miami. Okay. It's great. Yeah, it's a little far, but whatever. He asked me to do a CMA to tell him what I think it's worth. So I do the CMA. I send it to him. The next day, I call him to figure out what he thinks about the number that I gave him. He doesn't answer me. So I leave him a voicemail. The next day, I text him first, doesn't respond in the morning. I call him or leave him a voicemail. The next day, the same exact thing. The next day, I try to do it. I text him, but it doesn't go through. He blocked me, okay? He blocked me. I have Lewis. No, I'm sorry. I called him first from Javier's computer. He answers. I say, George, it's Ian. I'm so glad I got a hold of you. And he answers. And then he goes, silent. Doesn't say anything. Okay? And I'm like, fuck, he's doing it again. He hangs up. 5 minutes later, I call him from Lewis's number, who's our lender, who was in the office. And Lewis pretends to be an investor. And he is. He's an investor. Probably doesn't want to buy a $5 million house, but he would buy a house for the right price. So we kind of bent the truth a little bit, but ethically, okay? So Lewis calls. He says, hi, George. My name is Lewis. I'm an investor. My broker's been trying to reach you. And George goes, who? And he goes, Ian Reinhardt. He goes, who's that? I'm like, fuck, oh my God, this guy doesn't even know who I am. He blocked me. And Lewis says, well, we wanted to see the property, and he's been trying to reach out to you, but he hasn't been able to get a hold of you. And George goes, oh, okay. Well, have him call me. Okay, great. So at least he's aware of who I am, and again. And so I call him. I'm still blocked. So I have another agent call him. He actually blocks them too. And then I text him a couple times. I emailed him. The next day, yesterday, and there was some days that had gone by where I texted him and called him, and I didn't mention those. But yesterday, I called him from the office phone, and he answers. And I'm like, George! Not George, what the hell, man? What the hell? Like, why are you blocking? No, George! How's it going? I'm so glad that I got a hold of you. I'm so happy to have gotten a hold of you. I know you spoke to Lewis. I just wanted to see, did you ever get my evaluation for the property? And he goes, no, send it to me. And we had a conversation, and I just kept him on the phone, and I kept asking him questions, and we ended up having a phenomenal conversation. And tomorrow, now I'm going on a $5 million listing appointment. Okay? Where would you have quit? At what point would you have stopped? Would you have made it all the way to the appointment?
I think most of us stop around that.
I think most of us stop around no response from the CMA, right? You have got to be you've got to be fearless. You've got to not give a damn about what someone thinks of you. A little bit. Obviously you need to be a nice, good person. But don't care about looking like a fool, or don't care about failing, okay? Follow up with these people every single day. They'll actually respect the hustle. When salespeople call me, I usually don't give them the time of day. But if they're consistent enough, I'll go, damn, you're good. I'll answer the phone. I'll say, holy crap, you've been calling me every day for the last 2 weeks. I'll be honest with you, I respect it. What do you got to say? What are you trying to sell me? And they're always trying to sell me some lead product or whatever, some software for the brokerage. So people will respect the hustle. So don't think that you're like, oh, I don't want to be too pushy. Well, you don't want to be too pushy. You need to go do something else. But you have to be consistent and persistent. So when these people come into your open house and you make a good connection with them, you need to follow up with them relentlessly. They say that it takes about 11 contacts, whether that's face-to-face or voice-to-voice, before you can expect a contract, before you can expect a client, okay? So don't call them once, so let's say they say, you do everything I showed you to do, and then you say, yeah, you can call me, and then you pick up the phone after the open house and they don't answer. It doesn't end there. It does not end there. You need to text them out. You need to leave them a voicemail. You need to text them, say, hey, I tried to call you. I found 3 great ones, I thought you'd like. Give me a call back when you get this message. And they're not going to answer probably. You need to call them the next day. Then you need to text them the next day. Then you need to email them the next day. Then you need to call them. Then you need to text them. Then you need to call them. Then you need to text them. And you need to keep doing open houses. Because I can't tell you how many times I've done an open house over here, someone showed up and they didn't answer me, and then I did an open house over here and they showed up there. Because they're in the market for a house, so they're going to open houses. They're like, what the heck? I mean, you're everywhere. I see you everywhere. And I'm a little crazy. I follow people on Instagram, Facebook. I'll stalk them. I'll find them. So you got to be a little relentless with these people, okay? Don't expect these people to become your client the same day. We've got to be relentless in our follow-up. Any questions? Yes. Good question. You need to do it at the time of or before showing the house. I usually try to do that after I've already set the appointment and gotten them pre-approved. So in the situation that I gave you, what I would do is when I'm on the phone with them that night, trying to get them pre-approved, after I get them pre-approved or before I show them the houses, I'm going to email them the buyer broker agreement, and I'm going to say, hey, I sent you a document. It's required by Florida law that we have this signed in order to show you a house. All it says is that you're not going to move forward with a house that doesn't pay me a commission, whether that comes from the seller or from you. But I want to let you know this. In no circumstance am I going to force you to pay me a commission. And I even wrote it in there at the bottom. Buyer will never have to pay me a commission if they don't want to. They don't, and I say, this is just required by law. It's a new rule. We have to have it signed. All it says is that I'm acting as a transaction broker. It's kind of like an attorney. You can read it word for word, but that's basically what it says. and it just says that you're not going to move forward with a house that doesn't pay me a commission. That's all it says. So if you find a house that you really, really, and when you explain this to them, you say, if you find a house that you really, really love, and they're not offering a commission, and you love it so much that you want to pay me a commission, then that's fine. You can if you want to, but you'll never have to, right? Most sellers, I would say 90% of sellers are paying a buyer's agent's commission. So you really don't have to worry about it, Mr. Buyer. Does that make sense? Okay. I usually will email it over to them before the first showing, and then I'll jump on a call. But first, I want to get them excited about the process. Like, I want to get them pre-approved. I want to get them excited about seeing these homes. There's also another way that you could do it. I find it's funny because it almost seems like a scam, but in reality, these people are really not looking off market. These people are not looking off market, and they might be looking on Zillow, but they're probably not looking at for sale by owners. So what I will do is I'll say, what I recommend for you guys is say, hey, I just sent you what's called a buyer's broker agreement. It's required by law that we get this signed before we show you any houses. Also, this allows me, my broker requires this in order to send you our off-market deals. Our off-market deals. So that way nobody goes behind our back. So we can send you these properties that aren't technically listed, but are at a great price. And then they'll be even more incentivized to sign that. And all that list is for sale by owners. Because technically for sale by owners list is off market. And if you're building a pipeline with for sale by owners, you're building it through Lofty, like I've been telling you guys every week, build that list of for sale by owners, that pipeline of for sale by owners, you'll have that list already ready to go. That answer your question? Cool. Any other questions? Yes. Yep, septic, well and septic. Yeah, write that in there too. Well and septic. Not every property has a well and septic. Those are usually properties that are like outside of city limits. So well and septic, everybody knows what a well is, obviously. A septic tank. Most properties in St. Cloud are going to be connected to public water and public sewer. So you won't have to worry about that. Most people just want to know, is there a well, is there a septic, or is it connected to public utilities? Does that make sense? And usually they want to know, like, how deep is the well? If there is a well, and there is a septic, they want to know how deep is the well, how old is the pump, because every well has a pump that brings the water up. And then for the septic, they usually want to know how old is the septic and when was the last time it was pumped out. Because every 2 years, you're supposed to get your septic tank emptied. Good. Any other questions? Flood zone, yes, another good one. On the MLS sheet, the very bottom left of the MLS sheet, it says zone. That is the flood zone. If you see an X, that means it is not in a flood zone. Anything other than an X pretty much means it's in a flood zone and will require flood insurance, which is like, an extra could be $3,000 a year, this is a lot. I mean, I've seen it $1,500, $2,000, $3,000, it just depends on the insurance company. Anything else? You guys ready to go to Bella Colina? I'm going to give you the signs today. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yep. Let me turn this off.